Phosphor Dot fans, Earl at thelogbook.com, back on the Odyssey2. At least I say I'm back on the Odyssey2. We're going to talk about a game that I have covered in the podcast in the past on Select Game, but that was before I was doing the podcast as video segments, and so I couldn't show you this delightful game of computer golf. Oops. Par? What is that? Oh. I have to go around to the other side of it. This is a game I have some very specific memories of, especially with regard to, really one of my very few video game memories that involve my dad, because usually if I had a play or two for anything to do with the Odyssey2, it was generally my mother. But my dad was a golfer, or at least he he liked to think of himself as a golfer, I'll put it that way. And really, I think one of his main vectors of attraction of this game was this. Not missing the ball completely, as I am doing. Oh, I was actually trying to hit the tree since I'm already doing so poorly in the game. And now we close in on the green. If the in computer golf on the Odyssey2, if your guy hits the ball into a tree, he throws this very animated little fit, which that is a delightfully specific thing to put in the game. I think this emulator, and unfortunately all of my stuff, all of my games and stuff you can see behind me are still boxed up, because my low light of 2020 has been the cross-country move from hell, and it's still not over. This is still not my destination. Oh, come on. So I am having to play the game in emulation. All right. Let's see if I can just rocket this thing into the tree and show you this little video golfer's little tantrum that used to make my dad howl with laughter. Ball's right there, dude. I still haven't hit a tree. I will not call this video done until I have whacked the ball right into a tree. All right. Back on the green. So very similar to golf for the Atari. Come on, really? Really? Yeah. the emulation has some collision detect issues, to say the least. It's getting 90% of it right. The collision detect is a hell of a thing to wind up in the 10% that it doesn't. Alright. Get our boy over here and hit this tree. And there he goes. Yeah, my dad used to think that was the funniest thing in the world. And he, as a golfer, he decided that was absolutely accurate to the spirit of the game. Obviously, your movement, your golfer's movement. Well, where'd it go? It's on the green. The ball just disappeared. Okay. And now this poor man is going to wander around the screen frustrated because he cannot determine the location of his balls. Anyway, there you have a computer golf for the Odyssey 2. Obviously, your player moves around a lot slower than the Atari version of the game. This was one of the first... This was one of the games that came with our Odyssey 2, because for those of you who don't know the story, you haven't listened to the first episode of Select Game. My family acquired the Odyssey 2 and a small... oh, there it is. This is delightful. Okay, are we on the green now? Oh, so close, so close. We acquired the game in a bit of horse trading with my uncle, who owned it, because it was the only way my parents could afford to get me to shut up about wanting some sort of home video game system. And this was one of the games that we got with the console. And yeah, I'm calling shenanigans on the collision detector. The actual game, we would finally be underway, like that. We would have been underway on the first swing. And the other games were baseball, but it's not recognizing that as being on the green. Okay, this is... I see what you're doing here. See, that should have been a hole-in-one. Wow. The other games were baseball and the pack-in game, Speedway Spin-Out Crypto Logic. But, and, you know, we very quickly got other games, space-related games, arcade-style games, because that was what I was wanting to do on a home video game system. But my dad and I, and sometimes my mom and I, would spend an awful lot of time still with these sports games that we had received with the machine. And just the sheer fun of it is really why. Thanks for watching.